Welcome to the Some Laugh podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No, there's going to be some.
It's some laugh. So start then by probably asking you, Vittorio, so you had an interesting heckler in your Fringe show yesterday?
It was like almost too... Like, it was so polite, but it made me angrier than any heckler I've ever had before in my whole entire life. So, I have a bit in the show about, like...
That's the most typical Northern Irish thing ever, by the way, to get angry about politeness.
Yeah. Just, I felt like he was patronising me.
These fucking English bastards, why are you so polite?
But I have a bit in the show basically where I talk about like my experiences of like English people having like stereotypes about Irish people and like different examples of how that's affected me. I go through like 3 different examples. And it's like the dip in the show. And immediately after, this guy in the third row went, I disagree, actually. And I was like...
The fucking balls of that guy.
I know.
That's like whatever, like, it's like mansplaining, but for English people to Irish guys.
Anglo-explaining.
Who heckles the sad bit? Do you know what I mean? Like, it was ridiculous. But then I was pleased with... Because his explanation was like, I just think 1% of people are arseholes. I don't think it's anything to do with English... or Irish.
Pretty
1%.
convenient for you to think that.
Yeah.
Well,
more than 1% of English people are arseholes.
I said no, more than 1% people of arseholes because there are only 60 people in here and you're one.
Yes.
It was so fun, man.
That's great.
Like, nice
I
they gave you statistics to work with.
Yeah, I just did the quick maths in my head.
That's a great line. And I like how you're also getting in the fact that you've sold it. There's 60 people in here. There's not a seat in the house. Always marketing Vittorio. So yeah, we should say obviously we are joined today by Vittorio Angelone.
Yeah,
Is that how
as right as I get it.
That's it.
Here, I today heard someone call Liam Farrelly, which I'd never heard before. I didn't correct. It was a friend. I didn't correct them just because I loved it so much. I hope he... Was it the same person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He listens as well.
Yeah, Dave.
To this. Davey.
Good
Shout
guy.
out, Davey.
The Farrelly brothers. He's one of them.
Liam Farrelly. It sounds like he produces Justin Timberlake albums.
We're joined by Vittorio Farrelly today, and
because there was obviously we were watching Godfather for the other podcast, and it was they kept mispronouncing it in the film. They kept saying like Vito Corleone. And I guess it's like Angelone, so it's Angelone, definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
It means big angel.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
A better translation is archangel, but the the literal is big angel.
Why is that not the name of your fucking Fringe show, man?
Victor Big Angel.
It's a great fucking title for a show, man. I would go and see that show.
I want to call next year's show Who Do You Think You Are? I Am. Have you ever seen that bowling clip?
So
Yeah.
I think that's so fucking funny.
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, man.
Who do you think you are? I am. I know that's no use to you because you've not seen it, but
It's
you
like
gotta
a
watch it, man.
professional
Let's watch the
bowler.
That's a classic.
It's a classic viral clip.
The one day we've not got the fucking computer next to us.
That's so funny.
So we should say for anyone who's just listening, we're recording remotely at the moment in a makeshift studio in my accommodation in Edinburgh.
Wait, we're not recording remotely.
What? I don't even know what
We're
that means.
live in person. We're not on Zoom.
What does remotely mean?
It doesn't just mean in a different place.
I
think you may
fucking
be
does.
technically right.
No.
It's confusing.
See when the BBC are recording for like fucking,
This is like one of the travel things they do, like the BBC Roadshow.
Aye, they're on the road show. Aye, when they're doing
on a
when
bus
they're,
with no
when they're doing the one show for a fucking shopping centre or something, they're doing it remotely. Are they not?
No. Remotely's doing it from a different
And
location.
like, beaming it into a studio.
Yeah.
Right.
But we're not beaming anywhere.
No. We are.
Well,
not
technically,
we've done nearly a week at the Fringe. None of us are fucking beaming, basically.
We could be. I mean, we're beaming it into like YouTube and stuff. Would that count as
beaming it in?
Sounds like
Remember to like and subscribe wherever you beam your podcast.
beaming it into YouTube. Down. Oh, that's
getting
Did
beamed
your
up
fucking
today.
granddad sing a song about that? Is that
beaming me up.
I listened to that episode of
Some boy, man. Some boy. He taught me how to say that. He says beam me up a lot, apparently, so because he was in Star Trek.
He's a soft boy.
Yes, he's a lovely boy.
Oh, I like that page. Beam me up, soft boy. Do you think you've ever been a soft boy?
Yeah, big time.
What is a
We
soft boy,
guys
then?
are basically all soft boys.
Yeah, I think a soft boy is when you basically you try and play up to like, you know, being like poetic or just like overly nice to try and like be like I'm the nice guy basically as a soft boy, innit?
Yeah, you can't proclaim yourself as a nice guy.
Yeah.
It's like giving yourself 5 stars. Don't work.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing I've always
Otherwise
said.
you'd have done it and it would work.
I tried.
The thing I've always said about the nice guy thing is like being nice just doesn't have any like currency within, you know, like the sexual marketplace of what attracts you to somebody. Basically,
Debating in
like,
the sexual marketplace of ideas.
Well, it's like, you know, the same way you don't find someone necessarily more.
I wouldn't like Facebook sexual marketplace. That's not what you want to be picking up.
That's called Tinder. No, plenty official.
Do you ever see people who sell food on Facebook Marketplace?
No.
That's the thing.
Really?
People put like, I've made a big chili con carne, 1 bowls of fibre.
You are Italian, aren't you?
What's that supposed to mean?
I can
I
imagine.
said chili con carne.
I know.
You are Mexican.
I don't know. I just
Nearly
assume
the
that's
same
what
thing.
Italian cunts would do. They just love their food, innit?
Nonna's made too much. Send it round.
Stick on Facebook Marketplace. I mean, chili con carne has no place in the sexual marketplace.
I'm selling fajitas on Depop.
But you know that way though, it's like, see if you find somebody funny or not, it doesn't. It's not like doesn't necessarily anything to do with whether or not you think they're nice. The same way you're not necessarily attracted to someone based on whether you think they're nice. It's a plus. Like if you think somebody's a great comic, you meet them, they're nice. You're like, oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
It's the same way, like, you know, whether or not you think, like, if somebody's hot, you fancy them. And then if they're nice, that's a bonus. But it doesn't it doesn't sort of dictate whether or not you find them like attractive. And I think that's the mistake soft boys make, is that they go, I'm going to win the attractiveness with the niceness, but actually that's just like a.
They don't correlate at all.
You're just some ugly guy that's been nice.
It's like a minor on your driving test. It's like it's the majors that are getting you the pass.
No, that's giving you a
Do you want to
fail.
try another?
Well, you know what? I'm making all this up at the top of my head, right?
I'm enjoying this a lot. Just watching Vittorio just let you dig like 8 different holes next to each other.
If anyone's listening, all I'm saying is I am a nice guy.
So a soft boy is a guy who pretends that he's nice to girls or pretends that he likes feminism and all that sort of stuff.
I think what it is really, it's pandering, isn't it? It's like saying what you think they want to hear. So it's like, oh, I'm not like all those other guys. I don't know what your poem, you know, all this kind of
It's like
stuff.
going on saying who's drinking.
Yeah.
It's hack dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's a question: is it a soft boy if he's not? If he's doing that because he's genuinely doing that, or is it just because he's pandering? Is that
I think
that
it's
makes
the
him a
cynical
soft
aspect of
Yeah,
it.
the malicious
boy?
intent.
So you can be a soft boy, but being genuine, that doesn't make you a soft boy.
I've
Somebody
got an
actually
additional
said, somebody
question.
called me a genuine. She goes, I think you're a genuine soft boy,
that's nice.
and that's why she didn't shag me. I think it was. No, she did say that though, like, and meaning that as a compliment. Like, I think you're a nice guy, and you don't. But I don't try and pitch myself as one.
Yeah.
But she went, I think you genuinely
How
are.
do you pitch yourself?
I
Give
don't
us your
know.
elevator pitch for.
I honestly don't.
Flyer yourself as a man.
Well, I would say, see, in terms of, I just try and be authentic, so I don't try to be anything. I just try and be myself. But I would also say,
That's so fucking Buddhist zen.
no,
I
I'm
am
quite,
nothing.
I'm quite zen. Be like
I like
water.
to think I'll try that.
No, I date, and I was saying to Stuart recently, but like, see, my dating sort of strategy, it's changed. Like, see, I feel like when I was in my 20s, I used to be like a box-to-box midfielder, you know, like I was fucking chasing every ball and that sort of stuff, you know. Now I'm like a defensive mid that's like, you know, I'm getting into my late 30s, back in, like, so I'm sitting back, but I can read the game a lot better. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm Pirlo, can pick out the
Always
passes.
5 yards ahead.
Yeah, always 5 years ahead. I can see the gaps that no one else sees. But I've lost a yard or two of pace and stamina, for sure.
Can't be experienced though.
I was probably like Philip Sebo, I would say.
Sky in it.
And I had like probably 1 or 2 good games off season.
I like
the rest
the idea that you go up to chat about a lassie getting rejected and all your mates are like, Steve-O! What was your point about
My
this?
question was: is a soft boy the male equivalent of a pick me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I suppose it is the same, isn't it? Because
Pandering,
the
isn't
pick
it?
me thing, it's like, whatever.
I'm not like the other girls.
You're saying, you're saying, well, so that's when women say what they think guys want to hear.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah,
those feminists are annoying.
All my mates are
aren't they?
lads,
Aye.
you know, I'll get on with the boys, you know, that kind of thing.
Aye, all that sort of stuff.
What's your agenda?
I know.
I'm trying to achieve here.
Let me ask you this: what do you think a fuckboy is, Vittorio?
Well, I don't know how you would
define it. I think just not. It's okay to be content being single and like seeing different people and like going out and meeting different people and have like being on the dating scene. I think that's okay as long as you're being upfront with anyone. But I think a fuckboy is like seeing it as like a series of achievements that you're trying to attain without any like principles or like regard for the other person. It's like you'll pretend to be a nice guy and then once you've ticked the box you wanted to tick, see you later.
Is that not the same as a soft boy as well?
No, because I think the strategy's a bit different because it's
soft boys don't fuck.
Yeah, I think it's also like as well.
So when a soft boy fucks, it becomes a fuck boy. Is that
that's
is
like
that the evolution?
Charizard, Charmander,
Charmander kind of thing.
No, I think that they're two opposite ends of the spectrum. It's two sides of the same coin of basically people being inauthentic or ungenuine. I shouldn't have had that.
That was authentic.
That's me being authentic. If you don't like that kind of stuff, then forget about it. But I think it's like it's just a cynical thing. I think basically the fuckboy, like you're basically valuing the shag over everything else, including how you're treating people, people's feelings, all that type of thing. So I think that's what it is. Whereas, like you're saying, like you can be somebody that's single and you can, be on the dating scene, as people of all genders are these days, like and it's fine. But I think that it certainly seems to be used as a pejorative term, which I suppose can just refer to somebody that's just shags about. But I think it's mainly more when it's like shags about and kind of like does it in a way that just leaves a sour taste, metaphorically or physically.
But do you think soft boys are just trying to get a shag? Or I think soft boys are aiming more for.
Sorry, Vittorio, do you think you're on call her daddy right now?
I don't know how the fuck we got into this.
Oh yeah,
I was the inspiration behind Uncut Gems.
Why did he why did you draw the line there? We spent 15 minutes talking about soft boys and fuck boys, and I ask one extra question.
Mark's
like,
worried
where the fuck do you think you are?
He's worried it's like a catch a predator situation.
Is this an intervention? Why don't you take a seat? No, I was only when you me. What was your question?
No, what was it?
I think soft boys are aiming for a relationship. Fuck boys are just looking to get in and get out.
I think that's a good point.
I think there's an air of desperation to the soft boy, though. He'll take whatever he can get, I think.
Aye. Because it's like that thing, it's just like, I think the thing with the soft boy is like, you would put somebody on a pedestal or something. It's like, I worship the ground you walk on, all that sort of stuff, which is sickening, I think, for anyone, because it's like, but see, when you're young and you're inexperienced, I think sometimes that's what you think, like, somebody would want. When you like really put this person on a pedestal and basically commoditize them, I think is what fancying is to an extent. Like you see them not as a person but like an object, kind of like a famous person, I suppose. Basically, no one is really like no one deserves that level of praise. Like we're all human, we're all flawed and stuff like that. And when somebody just is overly into somebody, and like, because basically the image in their head is the thing that they're fancying rather than the real person themselves, and so it just creeps people out. And I think it'd be the same, it's not as if I've had that happen a lot, like, and it probably happens more with guys to women the other way about. But I think if you ever got like a woman who's like treating you as if like you were pure, fucking God's gift to the earth, and you're kind of like, I'm not that fucking good, by the way, but it's just weird. Do you know what I mean?
It's a different kind of like misogyny. That's my like least favorite kind of sex. That guy who's like always like making such a point of like holding the door open or like let me carry that let me do, and I'm like, just fucking treat them like people, for Christ's sake.
But that's usually see if it's like an old guy in a workplace or something, he's always the guy that will make the pure fucking sexist joke and all that as well, or the inappropriate comment or whatever. And no, definitely, I actually always think as well, like, you guys always say like, I don't know how to talk to women, and it's like, well, is that not a thing of like, you don't see women as people?
Just be a fucking human.
You're not treating them like other people, so just talk to them like a normal person, and that's usually it. So it's like, you see about all these tactics like, you soft boy, fuck boy, what's your thing? I'm like, that's how I just try and be me. But the hard thing is, see, when you do really fancy somebody, it's so fucking hard to just be yourself.
Yeah, you're like trying to do an impression of yourself.
You're
like,
it's like when you're stoned or something, you try to act normal.
Yeah,
it's like when you're on stage. It's like we're all kind of going through this and of like when you've got a reviewer in or somebody important, and you're trying to be relaxed and just confidently do the thing and be in the moment.
At your best.
That's when you're at best. You're not invested in the outcome, but soon you need this thing to go well, whether it's chatting about a girl or or having to
Steve
like
Bennett.
or Channel Steve. My entire approach to my comedy career has been the exact same as like trying to, you know, like get with lasses that I fancy. I'm just like, you know, I'm constantly trying not to try and fucking it up, basically.
5 stars.
Every lassie I've ever liked, I fucked up with. Every competition I've ever been in comedy, I've fucking crumbled under pressure, man.
I get freaked out by the competitions in comedy. The real something like the real competitive side of me inside.
It's not
like,
a natural
switches
thing to have a
on.
competition about.
No.
It's
No.
crazy.
I love them, man.
Thrive under the pressure.
Big game player.
BBC New Comedy Award winner 2018.
You need to
Steve
keep your
Buchanan.
head in these big pressure situations, guys.
Miroslav
Or was that a
Klose
yes
over
by
there.
Virgins?
See, did you like see when you done that final for BBC New Comedy Award? Did you like, did you have that feeling of like
I was
you
shiting it, man.
you couldn't relax, but
Nah,
you still
it's-
managed to do alright anyway?
I was shiting it. It was like it was the highest pressure gig I've ever done. Cause not even just because it's a competition, it was live on radio. That's the thing that fucked me up the most. I was like, one slip of the tongue here, and it's like career over. Could be like if you because you're not allowed to swear or anything.
And there's
Obviously,
no edit.
Yeah, there's no edit. I think that there's maybe a delay of say 5 minutes. So if you were like a big,
You could go
racist
full
cunt,
David Icke and be like,
Yeah.
the Royals are lizards.
they could probably just go, oh, technical difficulties, guys, or whatever. But
It's so funny if you're on Radio 4. Stephen Buchanan gets up for his thing. He just goes, fuck her right in the pussy.
The entire prepared set is out the window, man.
Yeah.
Like Sinead O'Connor written up the picture of the Pope.
But yeah, apart from, like, so that was the main thing that I was worried about. But like before it, it's like I can't even really remember doing the gig. It was just autopilot. You're just doing. I've done my set loads of times. I know the set works and stuff, so I knew I was going to get laughs. But it's just like just do the jokes, and then it felt like it was over like that in a flash. And then next thing you know, they're like, the winner is Stephen Buchan, and I'm like,
Is that what
Gotta stay
happened?
humble.
kinda, yeah.
You know, I've got a bit of a theory about like just how I think you need to get like this like place of kind of indifference almost towards that sort of stuff before you start to succeed.
Yeah.
Because like I remember like when I done that Scottish Comedian of the Year award, which obviously is not really a big or not as big a deal as like the BBC New Comedy Award or whatever, but by the time I won it, I'd done it like pure loads of times to the point I didn't really care anymore.
Yeah.
But I remember backstage when it was at Barrowlands when the year I won it, and there was a guy and he managed to get to the final after doing maybe like, you know, about 10 gigs or something like that, right? And I remember just seeing him backstage, and I think he literally was listening to like Lose Yourself by Eminem. And he was like pacing up and down and being so and like trying to psych himself up, which like it's a fight or something. But the thing is, with comedy, you need to go in with the complete opposite mindset. You just need to be relaxed instead of hype. But in competitions, you think, I need to beat these people, hype myself up. You know, it's a fight. And I just remember looking at him going, I've been there, and I just know that like
It's already lost.
See
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
shadow boxing before sets and all. Man.
Yeah.
I always try and be 4 out of 10 going on stage. That's what I aim for. Like genuinely.
In what sense?
In terms of like energy, I try and have a 4 out of 10. Just
That's
walk on.
But that's just
chill.
like you're kind of chill anyway. Do you go about life?
But
going
I
up
used
and
to get super nervous though, but now I don't
Really?
really get nervous. But I think it's because I've just done it so many times now. Because I used to do this, and I used to psych myself up.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's just a fool's errand. Like,
Yeah.
you go on with this weird manic energy. They actually just want someone normal to talk to them, and you set the tone, and then.
I try to be like excited to talk to them. Like I'm excited to tell you these things that I've thought of almost. Because I think if I go in too flat, I can come across really
You've got a good
deadpan.
energy when you're on stage. You do have that sort of, I've got a fucking good story to tell, you listen in, and it's quite engaging.
Yeah, hopefully. I think I can be guilty. Especially because my stuff's a bit like it can fucking make
Split a
people a
room.
bit tense sometimes.
But the first time I'd ever seen you was at the Stand doing Red Raw, and you done like it's like a joke about Rangers or Celtic, and in Glasgow, and the tension was there. It fucking smashed it. They like absolutely ripped the roof off of it. But it's like one of those ones where, especially with your accent, it's like what way could it go?
Where's
Do you know
it
what I mean?
going? Yeah.
it's going one of two ways. And,
We need to get CMB back on to talk about football.
Oh my god! Rest in peace.
Have you ever
man.
had anything like that? Like CMB had. So if
can
you
we all
don't
just
know,
say we all like football here, and we don't subscribe to that specky wee
He's a
freaks
good
opinions?
guy. He's a good guy.
I've been calling him a specky wee gimp for years. Finally, other people have started.
Fucking hipster.
If the listeners don't know, CMB was on a few weeks ago on the podcast, and he put out a video on TikTok and stuff about football, and he got a lot of stick, and it was a great joke. I fucking love the joke. I think it's a
There's
really
really not much to be upset about in the
No.
joke.
I felt so bad. I retweeted it, and then like
It was all your
"This is
followers that
gas."
were giving him hate.
I looked in the replies who were being dicks, and it was like, follows me. I was like, oh no, my mad Celtic fans have found it.
Laughing now until his wanker fans listen to this and start fucking quoting us off.
I know. Be careful
all
what you
the
wish for.
soft boys come at us.
Soft boys and fuck boys. That's the two sides of your fucking aisle and your audience, I think.
Yeah,
And
that's a you could do a Fringe little compilation show. First half soft boys, second half fuck boys. I had one thing on Twitter where I got really freaked out because it is scary, and I always make a point of like actually like I'll take the piss out of people, but then I actually check in because it's a fucking horrible feeling
yeah.
to have like hundreds of people being like, "You're a specky weekend."
I checked in with CMB as well. He's doing fine. He's smashing it. The thing is as well that people the thing that annoyed me the most is people are going, "Oh, he's not a good stand-up or something." But he's a fucking brilliant stand-up. He's
stand-up.
such a brilliant
Undeniably
stand-up.
great stand-up.
Yeah.
I love when people like edit it in them laughs. I'm like,
No.
what
No,
do you
I
think's
actually
happening?
edited the video. And, there was only one laugh that was edited in. No, I was
But with those, because the recorder that you plug into the tech booth can't actually pick up the audience
'cause it's so
sound that
far
well,
quiet,
so
yeah.
it's like that. Actually, if you were genuinely there, the laughs were
crushing.
so much
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
I had one. A few people on Twitter accused me of victim blaming because I put out a clip from a podcast which had the title "Victim Blaming with Vittorio."
Well,
you know.
I don't know what they expected.
who was the victim
Well, the women and the
in general? Just
it was
So
this-
your soft boy days are behind you then, basically.
It was just a little like idea that I was riffing on a solo podcast where it was that like Belfast loves victim blaming. And it's similar in Glasgow as well, where it's like if you hear someone get stabbed on the Falls Road in West Belfast, the first question everyone in Belfast asks is, what was he wearing?
yeah.
And
It's
then
a
if you're
Celtic talk he was asking for it.
Exactly. That was like the
Rangers
little
thing.
riff that I was doing. I was like,
That's good.
sorry for comparing being a woman to wearing a football top. And I'm like, it's a joke. You
Yeah, it's
fucking-"
just a fucking
But like
joke.
a few people retweeted it and like, I deleted it because I was so scared if it's just gone.
Sure.
Then that's how I'm known to like whatever number of people. But it's so fucking like it's scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but surely someone could see that and go, what is the thing that you're actually saying there that is people are going, oh, that's out of order? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've started wearing sunglasses on podcasts when I make controversial jokes.
Yeah,
Because
that's
people
good.
can't cancel you if you're wearing sunglasses.
That's
The bad
fair.
news is you've just done that joke again on our podcast without sunglasses and we
Oh.
clipped it in.
Take two.
Funny, I was laughing at the comment that you got for somebody saying that you you look like you have a blind man's eyes.
I've got
And
blind
I've
man
got to
eyes.
say, it is very accurate. For fuck's sake.
I don't see it.
Do you know what I'm
People on
talking
From
about?
this
TikTok.
far away, it looks great.
I think it's
Yeah.
just the colour of them, just
They're
like,
quite light.
aye.
Like that sort of glassy,
Yeah.
glazed over
My
thing.
girlfriend says to me when she stands too close to me and looks in my eyes, she can see all the sadness and it freaks her out. Because I'm quite like a happy guy, but then when you get too close, you're like, oh no, no.
some deep darkness that's led him to comedy, man.
I think you look like the guy in The Mask. See the film The Mask?
Somebody said this to me recently.
And you the
It
bad
was
guy.
Larry Dean's sister said this to
Oh,
me.
was it?
I went to pick up the Celtic tickets
Aye.
the other day, and she was like, you look like the bad guy from The Mask.
Aye, you
I
do.
was like, what?
Have you seen it?
Yeah, he's in other stuff. He's
I
some
don't
like
know who
Eastern European actor guy.
Yeah,
this?
it's very.
Yeah, find it.
It's every time I see you, I'm
I
thinking.
get Thomas Muller sometimes.
I can see that.
Did you get Killian Murphy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Paolo Nutini.
Yeah.
Occasionally, yeah.
These are all handsome men.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm bored. I'm
Yeah.
not complaining. Although I don't know about the bad guy from The Mask.
He's a good-looking boy, but I
He's
don't
not-
know
he's
about
not
a
a
blind
good-looking-
man.
he's like a
Is-
scary
What, when he's
looking guy.
wearing the mask, is it? You're
No,
talking
the
about?
bad guy.
No,
I don't
Because
look
that
like
just
Jim
came out.
but also Jim Carrey as well, I suppose. You could chuck in
I
there.
just look like everybody.
You need to do loads of hack, I know what you're thinking jokes on
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
you're
yeah,
thinking
like-
the bad guy from The Mask's let himself go.
I was like, how does this guy know about this? He's blind.
We should say that this is in a different location. You've got Liam's poster
But
behind you.
remotely we're coming.
We're coming remotely from the Fringe.
That's how all this started.
Yeah, basically. We're in Liam Withnell's flat, who's a comedian who we'll have on at some point. His poster behind you.
It's a spare room, which is also my bedroom for
Your
the Fringe.
bedroom for the
So
Fringe.
Liam insisted we have his poster from his 2019 show
News
here
stickers on
because
it.
he's out doing his show the now and couldn't be on. I know it's nice though, but I just thought it'd be nice. Be backdrop
4
as well.
stars? That's mad.
2018
Should've
best
been a five.
Fringe show.
Red like a five.
Red like a 5. Red like a 1.
So this is your debut year at the
Yeah.
Fringe, Vittorio. How have you been
Debut
finding it
year
so far?
It's cool, man. Like, I try to just remember how fucking fun it is.
He's putting the glasses away. This is a
This
serious
is a
point.
sincere moment.
He's going like, the industry are a bunch of wankers.
It's really hard as a straight white guy, actually. No, man, that's why I like hanging out with like you guys who are based up. I think Scottish acts have a bit more perspective on it. Because I think London acts come up and they're like, this is where we make it, boys.
It's not costing us as much.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
it's mainly because most Scottish acts are just so out of the loop of it that we fucking don't have any choice. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, not getting recommended in The Guardian.
No.
That's such a fun. Has this been
Yeah,
covered on this podcast?
yeah, I don't really give a fuck about any of that.
Yeah,
like,
well, who's reading that is also who's reading The Guardian?
I think
going,
The
"Oh,
Guardian
that's
has a
all
circulation of like 20,000 in Scotland or something. It has like really low sales in Scotland
Yeah.
apparently. But probably.
But it's
mine,
interesting. It's just fun. Like we were talking about it today. You get to do if you like your show, and I've worked hard on it, and I'm like happy with it. And the rooms are good, and we've got fucking Monkey Barrel's class, like
Yeah.
really good deal and all that shit. It's like, man, like because I came up being like, oh, maybe I'll get an agent, but then at one of the previews, like I signed with somebody, and it was like, so that I was like, I need to remember that, like when I booked it in, I was like, maybe this will happen, and then that's already happened. So all this is just bonus, and it's just fun, and like I like just hanging out with loads of fucking comics, man.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
great.
cool.
It's the best fun ever. Like I always say, like all the lads' holidays I went on when I was younger, and Iron App and Magaluf and all that, I always have as good a time just in Edinburgh every
Yeah.
August. But with the added
Such a
thing,
low bar.
mate, you weren't there. Iron Appa, 2011, man.
Were you a big lads' holiday guy?
I went on 4 lads' holidays like
Fucking
every
hell.
year
That's
after
a-
a year of uni. I went
Did you go
on.
on 4?
No.
I think I was on 4.
4?
Iron Appa, Kos, Zante, and Cancun.
I was
Big
Steve
four.
did his debut
The big
out.
four.
Like,
I done Magaluf, Malia, and 2 in Iron Appa. It was good, but like I was just my mates for school because it was after each uni year, but I was still just going with my mates for Clydebank, and it was like fuck it. Honestly, I think back so fondly of them. But the thing about the Fringe that's good.
Such an old guy.
I fucking am, by the way.
Did you go on lads' holidays?
Never?
No.
I never went on.
I was quite like a dork.
Oh, aye?
Yeah, I studied classical music.
Right. How the fuck
That's
did
right.
you end up doing that?
I was good at it.
Right.
What's that?
How, sorry. How do you know you like? So what? How do you know you become good at classical music? How, I don't know anything about it. Did you do we
just
didn't
did the
even get the
recorder at
opportunity to
school.
find out if we done we're good at classical music.
Well, I
you
take
just
it
got
you...
not do recorder.
What?
You did play the recorder at school.
So what is classical music? Is it like bits and pieces and DJ Sammy, all that kind of stuff?
2 different combos going on here. He's like...
This feels like we are in the pub now. You just not play the recorder at school.
Aye, that's all. That's like literally all I done.
Yeah, he's never heard of a fucking recorder.
What?
What?
I thought I was off my nut there for a second. I'm glad it's
How
Steve
do you?
gaslighting
So
me.
sorry, you don't know what a recorder is, Steve? The wee fucking
Like
whistle thing that you would blow into. And
Are we flute? Like, are we flutes? I call them flutes,
No,
boys.
it's
eh?
fucking straight doing the way
you
it's
can
I
tell.
call them
Steve didn't go to the Catholic school.
We got flutes at my school, guys. And big drums.
A big picture of Gaza up in his school. If he
actually
can do it, you can do it too.
That's a PE lesson.
You must
in
know.
March.
You must know what a recorder is.
So a recorder's like a flute that goes down the way.
Yeah, basically. You're getting it.
Essentially, innit?
Yeah.
So
It
fuck
beams
you,
music out into the into the room.
Oh, man. I
I thought
know
just
what
like
that is.
everyone at school played
I
recorder.
assumed that was a universal
Yeah,
thing.
me too.
So you were what? You did. So why did you bring that? Did you play the recorder?
I've met people from Pakistan who played the recorder in school. Where did you go to school, man?
Clyde Bank, mate.
What?
Around
You
the corner
must have
from Marc.
played recorder. You just didn't listen when they said what the name of it was.
But it was. I remember getting in primary school though.
Yeah. That's
Everybody played the recorder.
that was the one instrument they've made you play.
3 blind mice.
Steve, this should be your next sketch. Guy who's never heard of the recorder.
Are you doing one of these characters? Fuck the podcast.
The title there is good.
But in primary, we didn't get instruments. I don't think 'cause they didn't really.
And yet you're the only musical one here now.
Well, no,
Oh,
Vito. I mean,
Vito.
Vittorio over there.
So how
can
did
you
you
play?
tell us how you got into classical music?
I started playing the violin when I was 8, and then started drums when I was
You got
10.
like a musical family.
Yeah, my
he
parents don't
start-
play instruments, but I've
You
like
still used to get that violin. Oh, I've not got an agent and all that shit. Finally played it loud enough for the industry here.
But I got I started playing drums when I was 10, and then started playing like percussion, so like xylophones and timpani and all the different stuff. And then I was looking like what am I gonna apply for at uni? And then my mate who was a trombone player, he was like, you can go to music college. I was like, what the fuck's that? He's like, you only need 2 E's to get in. You just smash the audition, you get in. I was
2
like,
E's? Fucking just got your drug dealer. Come on!
Give him the sunglasses.
Yeah, so I did that. Did a 4-year degree in classical percussion. I played at the proms and stuff.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool, man.
And what?
The
what do you-
proms?
Yeah.
The thing where they wave all the Union Jacks about and all that?
Yeah. Fireworks at the Albert Hall and all. Yeah.
Good boy.
Steve is over his flute.
That's funny.
Oh, that's cool, man. And so how did that take you? Did you do acting as well?
No, not really. I did it at the end. At the same time, I kind of decided I wanted to try stand-up comedy. I was getting into a little bit of acting
Aye.
because I wasn't going to see any classical music because I wasn't going to pay to see that. Like I enjoyed doing it, but I
Yeah.
didn't really enjoy watching it. So I didn't really know why the audience were there. But I was going to loads of comedy gigs and going to loads of plays. So I was like, well, I'll do them
Nice.
instead then because it's a bit more fulfilling to do something you would actually fucking pay to see. Yeah, so I did a bit of acting and then just started running a stand-up night at my uni. My first gig was like Freshers Week to 200 people, a band man headlined.
Really?
Oh,
Wow.
God.
I was hosting.
How did it go?
I was so drunk, man, I don't know. Rob from Bandman said it was alright, so I'm happy enough. Nice.
Yeah. What did you do for there then? What was your second gig for there? Did you just keep
I
running
did that
gig,
once
or?
a month for a year with no
Wow.
material, just like crowd work, seeing what happened.
Mhm.
And then I did 5 minutes of one-liners like a year after that. I did it 6 times and went, this one-liner thing, imagine, like I just looked out and saw the path of like doing one-liners forever and I was like, there's no way.
Nah.
I feel like everybody, because you just sort of like, it's almost like if you treat it like maths, it's like you can never go wrong. But the reality, like just going up there and stand up, it's like obviously it's more like an art where it's like, you know, you need to try and talk about who you are as a person and that sort of stuff, and it takes a while to figure out. But if you just like almost have these equations of like one-liners, like you can kind of hide behind that. And I think a lot of people do that when they start out, and then it's only when you sort of like take that layer off and start to, you know, sort of reveal who you are a wee bit and talk about what's going on in your life that like you start to really you know go
It's
somewhere.
almost like
as well,
it's
mate.
definitely a joke. That's what I thought. It's
Yeah,
like
I was
no
exactly
one can
the same.
deny that this is a
Yeah.
joke.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whereas
Whether
if
you
you're
like
just
it or hate
talking-
it, this is clearly comedy I'm doing.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
doing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing.
There's a punchline that you can underline, you know, which is
Yeah.
more than can be said for a lot of successful comedians, to be honest. But no, I understand that completely,
Yeah.
man.
And then, so how long was it until you started doing what you're kind of doing now?
So it was like literally 6 gigs of one-liners, and it was like going okay. And then someone was like, "Oh, like how do you like expand that out into a 20?" I was like, I don't. So then I just started doing different bits and like started like trying to work out what I wanted to talk about. Like you're saying, just like what I actually think about stuff and the comedians that I like, because I like one-liners. I think they're decent. There's some people who are fucking hilarious that do them, but I would never sit down and watch a Netflix special of one-liners. You know what I mean? So I was trying to see what other people did and how to fucking do that. And
It's also just nice to get 5 minutes out of a subject rather than 10 seconds or whatever. You know?
Yeah.
It's just more economical.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and like, so, because you're one of the things about you that you're so driven, and you're like, after a gig when we were doing Monkey Barrel, you've got like a QR code and you get people to like scan it to follow you and stuff like that, and you built up quite a good big audience in such a quick period of time. Like,
great at self promotion, and like it's a thing that you've adapted, I think, to the world of social media and stuff like that, like so well, and a lot quicker than I think a lot of us as comics were all guilty of like still being stuck in the old way, imagining that you just you never put anything out online, and then you do 10 minutes at Live at the Apollo, and then you become a big star, and that world obviously is to a large extent
because that's we're from that sort of thing where people would slag you if you were ever self-promoting, like putting out videos online. People would be like, what, oh, have you seen him doing that? Like a fucking state of him doing online stuff.
It's turning now, but it was like a bit of a dirty word for a while, wasn't it?
But like you must have just missed that, and you're from the sort of era where
I think it's because I had an eye on, like, the first comedy gigs I went to see were in Northern Ireland, so it was like Colin Geddes, Mickey Bartlett, Aaron McCann, Shane Todd, those people, and they've always done that. That's how they built their careers and built their fan bases, and can tour and do these massive gigs. So I always just looked at that and went, well, that seems like the way to do it. That seems the best way to have the most control over stuff. And then you hear about people like Daniel Kitson, and you're like, oh my god, like he's just built his own thing and completely like circumnavigated the whole thing, which is like, I know, I just like having control over stuff. I don't really like outside input. Like I struggle with having the agent and stuff, because he'll be like, oh, what about this, and I'm like, I freak out. I really hate like input into stuff. I'm just like so protective over it. But I think the work ethic comes from like that music college stuff, because for the 4 years you're surrounded by like mad violinists who are practicing 8 hours a day, and there's just constant like pressure cooker of like you're never doing enough, and I think I just like kept that frantic anxiety like going into comedy, and thought like, oh, I always have to be doing something,
absolutely,
doing this and doing that,
and it's clearly working, because
it's going well, man. And then like the problem is you never know, and I'm sure you guys find this, like you can put all the shit out on social media, and you see people who do put a lot of stuff out, but it never translates into tickets or whatever, and that's always the worry, is that like that potential embarrassment of like, oh, you put yourself out there, and then maybe you're not good.
I always thought the thing that separated somebody who like tried stand up from someone who didn't is the fact that like you need to put your ego on the line and go up in front of people that are strangers, and like especially if like you're like the funny person in your group of pals or something, and you need to put that reputation on the line, and you need to be willing to do that to do stand up. And I think the thing is, it's easy to get comfortable once you take that leap and start doing stand up, then you don't want to keep taking more leaps again. You've already and you get in a comfort zone with that, so then when it comes nowadays to you need to put stuff out online all the time, that's another leap into the thing. And it's like we're basically like basically a clip can die on its arse on social media,
or everyone can call you a spaggy weekend.
Yes. But that's the risk you need to take, and it's like it's
scary every time.
Instead of like doing it live in a room that the people are all going to leave and it kind of evaporates into the ether, it's just kind of out there on the internet, and you can get backlash, and can go these things, and that is a scary and intimidating thing, and I think it's just why a lot of people avoid it completely. But the benefits of it are just so exponential, and like you've been fucking absolutely smashing it with ticket sales and stuff, like really off your own back, and it's like the PR and all that sort of stuff, that you're kind of showing everybody like this is the way. Like
I'd like that if comedians just took a bit of fucking control back from
the gatekeepers.
Yeah, the Fringe has become, and I went to the Fringe when I was a kid very briefly, and then in 2019 once, so I'm not the fucking expert of like mapping out the path of the Fringe, but it just seems so strange, the amount of money. Like my agent was like, we recommend everybody gets PR. I was like, oh, how much is it? He was like 2.5-3 grand. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
it's nuts.
Like that's mad.
Yeah.
What do they do?
To get away like half a page in the Metro or some shit like that.
I've got a real chip on my shoulder with stuff like that as well. Like, why the fuck would I pay someone 3 grand who's not creative to hike my wares? You know what I mean? Like, why are their pockets getting lines? You know?
Yeah. It's kind of like back in the day, like I suppose like bands and all that, it'd be like a big thing to get in like NME or something, and then for the equivalent for comics at the Fringe, it's like being in Time Out or some shit like that. And nowadays, like I suppose that is what PR's paying for, an equivalent of that just in magazines and newspapers.
It's funny
and stuff.
that they're all just retweeting the stories.
Just sharing it on the Instagram page. Oh, look, there was an article about me.
Just do more over there anyway, because no one's fucking reading the things.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Why are you still going to print media?
Yeah.
Do you mean like what the fuck's going on over there? It's just fucking mad. I don't know. Like, look, different people work different ways. Some people will still get that industry thing. They'll still get on TV. They'll do Live at the Apollo, and you can see people who get on everything very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And then they start selling tickets and basically never have to do anything themselves for their whole career. And look, if you can get that, fine. But that is one in hundreds of thousands of comedians. And I think it was almost fear of rejection by the industry, where I was like, if I reject them, then they're over there. And they can't
classic fuckboy behaviour.
Playing hard to get.
Treat them mean.
I'd be interested in your opinion on this, because you brought up like the guys that are based in Northern Ireland that are doing really well by smashed into, like, you obviously live in London yourself, like, do you think these days is it necessary to move to like a London still?
No.
Or do you think it doesn't matter where you are because they're putting out stuff online?
What opportunity could you possibly get that you don't have 12 hours notice to get to London? Do you know what I mean?
But even just doing like constant gigs, like in Glasgow, you've maybe got like 4 or 5 gigs a week you could do, but you could do 4 or 5 gigs a night in London if you wanted, probably.
But that's not helpful. It's like at the Fringe, people are like lining up 12 gigs a day, and it's like, right, you'll be knackered and steaming, but you're not going to be any better. It's not going to help anything. You just performed like 6.
Yeah, and you're doing the same thing every time.
Yeah, you're not writing anything. You're not working on anything. I'm only in London because I just happened to end up there. That's why I went to uni.
Yeah.
So I was just there, and now I live there in the same way anyone who goes to uni somewhere just ends up there. And like, I loved that BBC stand up for live comedy. You know, the regional spotlight on stand up when they did all those gigs around. They did one in Glasgow.
When it was kind of like socially distanced, just coming out of things.
And they were like, a spotlight on regional stand up, and they just fucking bust in loads of London comedians to all these regional places.
It's
like, what the fuck is this? I heard a Scottish comedian I won't name just because I don't know if they want it out there. Their agent put them up for it, and the producer was like, "Oh, love the clip. When are they gigging in London so I can come watch?" And they were like, it's a regional Glasgow stand-up show.
Yeah.
Why? It's a fucking pandemic as well. It's
like, I had a similar thing for that show.
Fucking shite. Like.
Yeah, it was like, basically, we need to see them in London, and it was during the pandemic. Not a lot of gigs even happening.
But that's just stupid, because like it's so done by them. Nobody's watching it, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you'll get more views on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Like you're
speak for yourself,
sketches.
Vittorio. For fuck's sake, no yours is successful in it.
Fucking Sketchy McGee over there.
Sketch comedian now, guys. Prop comic.
But it's mad, because that's recent for you putting the stuff out online. How's that been?
Good. Yeah, it's been like, I've basically sold out all my Fringe shows.
Class.
Brilliant.
From that, and that was what my plan was. We'd spoke about this a few times. Like, just that was my source of advertising, my source of writing, building an audience.
And this is the BBC New Comedy Award winner 2019, guys.
18.
All right, well.
It wasn't a good year. It's like wine.
But but it's like, ever since start doing that, that's been like maybe 8 weeks or something that I've been doing that, and it's increased so much.
You got old El Paso to change their Twitter name. That's fucking mad.
They'd done it for like 5 days, and then they were like, "Fuck this, we guy. Let's put it back." But
that's so long.
That is a long time. That's longer than you'd expect.
Yeah, I know.
The thing is, it's harder to obviously do it off your own back, and it's like, you know, there's no guarantees as there is with, you know, some like telly stuff, and obviously you still, you know, there's still money to be made in that side of things, and people do still watch. It's just maybe an older demographic and stuff, and just again, it's maybe like, I don't know, maybe a bit of a sinking ship or whatever, I don't know, but I certainly think just if you can put stuff out there and have like that reaction, like Yusuf had, like, it's just, it becomes exponential, and it really can change things so quickly.
It's
you know,
fun, though.
It's amazing.
Like, this is fun.
Yeah.
What we're doing, this is fun. This is making content. The thing that people think is like a fucking dirty word.
I've been doing it in barrel bar all week anyway. I mean, just
we're just talking shit. Might as well fucking monetize it.
Yeah, exactly. What's your sort of like goal or plan then? What do you think you want to do? Are you going to film your own special, do you think? Or?
I'd love to film this show. The show's about a play that I went to see at the National Theatre in London. So I'm trying to work out a way that I can film it in the building where I went, where the story happens of the show. I think that would be so cool to have it there. I can't. The room where I saw the play that it's about is 1,000-seater, so I don't think I'm going to do that one. But
Yeah,
You never know. You sold 1,000 tickets to the Fringe, have you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's different though.
That's true.
But they have a smaller theater which is like 450, which I think I could potentially do.
Yeah,
That's great.
Like it feels kind of doable. Have you heard the story of Dave Chappelle bought all his friends' motorbikes?
No.
And they all were just riding across America. And then anytime they ran out of money for like drinking and partying, he would just book whatever local theatre was closest,
Brilliant.
put on a show, and then just that would top up the money for the next
That's
month
cool.
on the road.
Oh my God.
Just
It's like
that
us getting those
freedom.
Glasgow city bikes and going up Mary Hill Lock.
You run out of money and email the staff. Fucking 8 months later they get back to you.
Must be a
Get a
pub on.
five at a Red Row.
Must be a pub on Mary Hill Road. We could do a gig in.
So that's your plan then? You want to do
Just
that?
artistic freedom, just like, you know what, just carving out a space that you can just hang out, man.
Yeah.
Like that's so. I just think it's such a like a nice thing.
It's great.
I'm not fussed on anybody knowing me who doesn't like enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
I don't want to be out there like famous where people are like, oh, that fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
I think if you just build your own thing, I think that's what's
Yeah.
nice about it as well is if you build your own thing, generally, like you'll get little spikes of people who don't like you if it ends up in the wrong Twitter circle or whatever.
Yeah.
But generally, the people who hang around, they're all there because they like you. They're not like, I always think, and it's cancelled now, but like Mock the Week was some people's favourite TV show.
Yeah.
And if you went on Mock the Week and they didn't like you, you're fucking up their favourite TV show. Like, that's so bad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But whereas if you're just putting out clips, like they can just fucking
It's your thing.
mute you, block
Yeah.
you, unfollow you. You're never going
Yeah.
to ruin their thing.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the classic you see a lot, like whenever the BBC puts out a clip of anything, like it's live at the poll or something, and it's just like there's so many comments like, is this what I'm paying my license fee for? Whereas when you're putting out your own thing, it's just like, you know, they just think you're a guy just doing your
Yeah.
own thing, which
Yeah.
Is
is
this what I'm
often,
paying my Patreon fee for? This shit.
don't give them ideas. I didn't get up and running yet, for fuck's sake. Come on. I didn't not pay any Patreon to listen to fucking Stephen Buchanan talk about he doesn't know what a recorder is.
And the show's been fun so far then for the Fringe.
Show's been fun, man. Like I've written like a fringy show, like a little bit. Like it's still fucking jokes that works in clubs and stuff, but I've tried to tie it all together a little bit, and that's fun. That the only reason I did it is because, and this must have happened to you guys. Like, do you know when you're doing those new act competitions, and at the
Yes.
same time, roughly you're doing yes,
Famously.
but at the
Any
same-
fucking opportunity.
Come on, guys.
At the same time, you're like doing trials for clubs.
Yeah.
So your whole life for about 6 months is like 5-minute competition spot,
Yeah.
10-minute trial spot, and you're just doing tight 5, tight 10, tight 5, tight 10, and it is creatively just death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
horrific.
And weirdly, there is a difference between them because I kind of learned a good kind of horses for courses lesson because I remember doing competitions and I'd like have me and Stu done the BBC New Comedy Award Heat once and like we both had really good sets, but like we just probably didn't have as much of a USP as some other people who all did well. But then I remember like I remember.
The bite behind that sentence of
No,
"They'll
no,
do
no,
well."
not at all. No, I mean it as like it's not as if they were
It's
bad.
not like we were expecting.
No, like so, but then, and I remember like because at the time, so like when you're starting out, you just kind of like so focused on just smashing the gig,
Yeah.
and not always thinking about maybe the content or whatever as such, or what you're talking about, and maybe people just more interesting than my stuff was the honest thing. But then I remember going to do like a trial at a club. And like thinking I'm going to do my more interesting stuff and blah blah blah, whereas actually at those gigs
opposite way
it is where you should just go in and do your
It's
smash
just
stuff.
about laughs.
Yeah.
And then I remember doing that and regretting it and going, I should have done my stuff I knew better and I knew you could get bigger
These are all
laughs.
just things you learn though through experience.
But you just learn and you, as I say, it's just like horses for courses. Like you just, you know,
What does that mean?
horses for courses.
Yeah,
So
I've
it's-
heard it a lot, but I don't really know. Like, and I know
Yeah, I'm with
from
you on this, I don't
context
really
know.
like
Yeah,
what it
what's-
vaguely
So
means.
I suppose, like, I'm going to
what you used to
say it by, I'm going to say it by using a different. I suppose it's like I don't know much about tennis, but like you know, if Andy Murray's better on,
This is the
know.
Some Laugh analogy special.
I guess if like Andy Murray's better on grass and Nadal's better on clay or whatever the fuck it is,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, players, you know, different like do different things in different environments, and there's I suppose there's horses that will run better on certain courses than others.
Is that what that means? Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was to do with like.
What could it possibly mean other than that? Horses for courses.
Course. I thought
Certain horses are more suited to certain
Courses.
race tracks.
Aye.
But how would that be? How would that be distilled down to horses for courses?
So
how
like,
does that? How has that been boiled down? Because that would mean
Pick
something.
a certain horse for a certain course.
But that doesn't.
You don't call it a course.
So
it'd be
pick
a
certain
race
material
track.
for certain gigs. Pick a certain horse for a certain course.
But I don't think that's what horses.
Unless
for
they're playing
courses
golf.
is.
Look, who's you think I'm fucking Dermot Desmond? I don't know anything about fucking horses, right? It's just a phrase.
yeah, maybe it's been boiled down from like a longer thing, and it's just been sort of whittled down to horses for courses. Maybe
Yeah.
it used to be.
Like goodbye.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by this argument. Actually, I have to
The
say.
word goodbye used to be God be with you.
Is that what they teach
That's
you
worth
in Northern Ireland? And that's what you should say. Don't shorten it to goodbye. That's terrible. That's what the Protestants do in their flutes fucking do.
I thought horses for courses meant like you get what's coming to you kind of thing.
That's what I thought it meant.
Yeah.
No. No.
Have you been saying it?
There's another phrase that means you get you reap what you sow, and
I mean, there's hundreds of.
Just
yeah,
as
there's
there's
No.
lots of phrases for that.
What
stuff,
does rape
man.
what you saw mean?
This is the worst podcast ever. I fucking hate this podcast. Stupid cunts. None of us actually knowing what the real shit is. We're just
If
guessing.
you're still listening to this, it's your own fault.
Four soft boys getting idioms wrong.
we really need some off camera producer
Some,
to be
yeah, Richard Osman.
Yeah.
to be looking into it.
What was it?
but-
You reap what you sow.
Yeah. What
That
does-
means that's the same thing. You like.
Yeah. No.
I
What
mean,
it
that's
means,
not even
what-
not even a metaphor. That's like a literal thing.
Oh, but it is applied to other things, so it is a matter.
Aye, well, fair enough. But you
Yeah.
know, it's
so
pretty.
what does rape what you saw mean? Like,
As in
So when you
literally,
sow
what does it mean?
seeds,
all right. So it's not like sowing.
not sowing, like sowing seeds,
Right.
and then you reap them. That's like harvesting them.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's easy.
You get
Yeah.
out what you put in.
Okay.
How the fuck did we go on here?
The 5 and 10 minute spots are just
Right.
like dead fucking annoying. So I just got super bored, and I was like, I've got a chunk of material here. Let's see if I can just put on an hour long like work in progress show, just see what the fuck happens.
Yeah.
And just booked a venue, like a little jazz bar I like in London, and then put it on and tried to do an hour, and just had this like vague idea of like what I wanted the show to be, what I wanted like the narrative to be. And that was September. So I got dead lucky in terms of like I did that, and I was like, oh, I think I might have something here. Like it's like it was too long. It was
Yeah.
like 67 minutes or something at the time, and
So
I was
what
like,
was
oh,
this? A
but there's
preview then? Just a.
Yeah, I was just like, I just wanted to see if I could do an hour. And it was at that point I realized that people were starting to like buy tickets,
Yeah.
because it was the first time I'd put on a show that was just me doing it, and I was so fucking scared of it being shit that I booked 4 openers.
I understand
Really?
why
yeah,
you would do that.
CMB did
Yeah.
it. See, like,
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I had 4. I had a whole first half and then
That's
a
a
break,
long
and then
show.
it was fucking. But I was just like, this might be shit and 25
Yeah.
minutes long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well, it's a lot of pressure from just being one act on a bill of comedy, and particularly maybe just the unpaid act on a bill of comedy, to being you are the show.
yeah.
Your name's on the
That's a
ticket.
lot
Yeah.
of pressure. And see, the thing is, though, see when you start pulling it off, and that's what's the great thing about doing solo shows, you start to feel, oh, I'm a fucking comedian, you know,
Yeah.
I can do this. I was people's entertainment for the evening or whatever, and then all of a sudden, these kind of, I think sometimes with the clubs and all that, when like you're trying to come through them, and they're kind of like, right, we'll keep you in the 10-minute unpaid spot for
Yeah.
a wee while. It can become a bit of a limiting belief. You go, oh, I'm still an open spot, whatever,
Yeah, that's
and then you
right.
do an hour show, and you go, I'm a fucking comedian, do you know what I mean? And it really
Yeah.
gives you that confidence to push
Yeah.
on and kind of and start doing the stuff that you want to do as well.
Yeah, so then I just started looking like, oh, maybe I could book into the Fringe, and then by accident I was up for my cousin's birthday, and just emailed loads of comedy clubs in Edinburgh, and Monkey Bar was one of them. Just like got it off like comedians who I knew and put their names, like this person recommended I get in touch. Then Monkey Bar put me on for a trial. And then started gigging for Monkey Barrel, and then did a preview at Monkey Barrel. I ended up doing the Fringe. It was all very accidental. And
Sold
very,
out Fringe show at Monkey Bar.
very fucking
Yeah.
jammy, like. But
Yeah.
it's just been cool.
Those wee breaks are what you need sometimes, though, in
For sure,
life,
man.
you know. So definitely, it's good.
Aye.
You reap what you sow. Horses for courses.
So, do you want to plug your show? Vika?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2:05 every day. Carnivore 2, Monkey Barrel. It's called Translations. That's probably easier to spell than my fucking name if you're googling it and all that stuff. Yeah, man. It's-
I can't wait to
it's
see it,
fun.
man. I'm sorry I've not
Yeah.
been able to. I
No,
Yeah.
don't
can't get
worry,
a bloody
man.
ticket.
Yeah, and if you want to come along, you might see some of the Some Laugh boys in the
Yeah.
crowd as
Yes.
well. Because
We
Yeah.
clash
Yeah.
currently,
I'm
don't
hearing
we?
good things.
Yes, but you're doing a little bitch run.
Yeah, I'm doing 10 days.
Someone had to say it.
And I
10
not
days
put-
with his little videos. Alright, that's good. I'm bleeding my heart out
10
there,
days
man.
of pointing at a screen going,
I'm in
"Ah,
Steve
Stuart,
Show.
hi, Stuart, tell the
you
story.
remember that one?
Tell the story you told me the
I'm
other day.
doing my first
Spicy
day.
dust."
There's no spicy dust in the show, guys. And I'm acting out the videos. I'm not showing the videos. So fuck you, guys.
Does Stuart,
This
Stuart know-
episode isn't going out.
Stuart told me he's seen your tech route. What was
Yeah,
that?
I'm doing my show. I come out day one. You know, we're there really early.
Yeah, first.
He's just doing a tech run. I didn't know
In
he was
the
in there.
next
I just
room?
went to get changed. In the
I
next
didn't know
room.
that was an option to just do it that
No, me neither. I didn't get to do one. I go in. First thing I see, I'm on the fucking telly.
Yeah, I'm not writing.
He's
your
not mentioned it
sketches.
to me. There's just a sketch that I'm in, filmed in my flat. I mean, I can't remember who came up with the idea, but whatever, you know. let's just say you did.
And who came up with all the great lines in the sketch?
It's
that were
heavily
impro-
improvised. We're having a lot of fun on the day. Do you show
Yeah.
the bloopers as well?
No, but I
Bloopers are
should.
pretty good. If you're really running low, show the bloopers.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He's
I'm
only
in
doing
Steve's show.
45, he's not running
So I'll
low.
be taking a cut from the bucket.
What the fuck is this, guys? Come on, you're talking to the BBC New Comedy Award winner 2018 here,
It's
lads.
not a good year.
Such a Scorpio thing to do, man. Just fucking stay on the
Shut the fuck
Well,
up.
basically, all it means that, Vittorio, if you do win Best New Coming at Fringe this year, you just know that in like 3 years' time, you're just going to be showing videos of your old fucking podcast clips in the back of the room.
Doing a podcast in Liam Withnail's spare bedroom.
Aye, so I think that bit covers it. So obviously go see Vittorio. All of us are still doing shows. Stevie's, are you sold out then? So you're only doing it the 14th, but if you're sold out then
There's 6
Fuck
tickets
it,
on the
doesn't
day
matter.
every day.
Yeah, there's like 6 tickets on the day. There's a few tickets like Wednesday, Thursday, but
Yeah.
I don't know when this will go out. I don't even know.
the
if
10th, so you'll have like 4 days left.
yeah.
Stuart, what time are you on again?
5 to 5, 4:55 in Carnival 2 as well. Same room as Vito.
It's got aircon now. Didn't
Yeah,
have
it's
that
a
on day
good
one.
room. It's a good show. Come along. It's
I've
been a
seen
lot
the
of fun.
show. It's very good.
class.
Very
Thank you.
good.
Thank you,
I've seen
boys.
it.
Aye. And just go and see Stu because fucking aye, like I'm like doing the I've not got many tickets
What?
left myself, and me and Stu
You
clash. So
tried
just,
to compliment him and then
no,
it never
Go on,
happened.
Stu's got a better show than me. We clash, and I've made it less sold out anyway. So fuck
your
it.
toxic masculinity came out there. You're like, go see Stu because fucking it's going never.
Go see Stu if you like fuck boys. I'm
And
actually
soft
not.
boys.
I'm not actually like
Yeah.
those other guys.
Whimsy. I
He's a
think.
thinking man's
What do you
fuck
call
boy.
it? Whimsical.
That's next year's show.
The fucking man's think boy. Anyway, guys, that about covers it for this week's episode of Some Laugh. Thanks once again to our guest Vittorio Angelone for
Cheers,
coming
pal.
in today.
We've never done a
No,
clap
we've never
before.
done a clap before.
Standing up.
It's a shame this is the one day we've not got a wide shot for that stand-up. But yeah, guys, as ever, we're on YouTube. Please like and subscribe on there. If you're listening, do give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else lets you leave one. And just remember to give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, where we're at Some Laugh Pod. But guys, and thanks very much for tuning in as ever, and we will speak to you very soon.
Cheers,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you.
Cheers, Vito.
Bye.
Cheers, Vito. Do you mind getting called Vito?